Hi, it's Jason here at Box Score Dice Sports. Back in May of this year, we had Port Adelaide Magpies and West Adelaide Bloods come up and play a game at Loxton Oval. Loxton is my hometown where I live, and so these two teams play in what is called the SANFL, which is the South Australian State League of Aussie Rules Football. So sort of a step under the AFL, the Australian Football League. Port Adelaide's actually got two teams. They've got one in the AFL and this team, sort of like their reserves team, which plays in the SANFL. So they came up because a legend of the game called Russell Ebert, who used to play for Port Adelaide, passed away. And so this is a memorial game in honour of him, and they played it here at Loxton at our oval. And so here you can see some footage of the players warming up, and Port Adelaide actually warmed up on our end of the field, so that was pretty exciting. My middle daughter, she is a Port fan, so she was pretty excited. You can see there's the cheerleaders of West Adelaide about to do their thing. It's interesting that from where we were sitting we couldn't actually hear the music, but sure enough, I'm sure they weren't doing that to nothing. And so so West Adelaide, so the thing about Loxton though is that each club, like West Adelaide, Port Adelaide, they have zones where they can recruit good players. And so actually Loxton is part of the West Adelaide zone. So if good players rise up in Loxton or any of the Riverland towns, generally speaking, West Adelaide is where they will go to play. Of course, in the case of Russell Ebert, that was not the case. He played for Port Adelaide. And so this is where they're doing a minute's silence in memory of Russell Ebert. And so everyone's standing up, and I can't remember now, but I think we probably did the national anthem before this as well, or not, I can't remember. It's a while ago. And then the game is about to begin. And so again, one of the Port Adelaide players is Charlie Dixon, who normally plays in the AFL, the highest level, but he was recovering from an injury. And he's a star in the AFL, my opinion anyway. There he is, number 22. And so he was playing in this game, which sort of added a bit more excitement for us, seeing someone of his calibre. There was a few players like that in this game, and you'll see him in action early on here. So the game's just started. So the thing with Port Adelaide is that traditionally they're called the Port Adelaide Magpies, but when they went into the AFL 25 years ago, there was already a Magpie team, Collingwood, in the AFL, so they had to change their name. So they call themselves Port Adelaide Power or Port Power in the AFL, and they also don't wear this black and white stripe, their traditional Guernsey either, which is a shame because it looks really good, and as a Port supporter we really identify with it. Here's where I reckon Charlie takes a mark. He's going to line up for the first kick for goal for the day. Yeah, so if you see Port Adelaide in the AFL in videos, you'll see that they have a different Guernsey. Still looks good. And so they have that team, and then in the SANFL they still call themselves Port Adelaide Magpies, and they wear the traditional Guernsey. If you see AFL games with Port playing, you'll often see supporters wearing this Guernsey as well as the Port Adelaide Guernsey. So this game really just ended up being quite a one-sided game, which was in some ways expected. West Adelaide didn't really do that well this season. To be honest, Port Adelaide Magpies didn't do that well either, but certainly they outclassed Westies in this game. It was good. It was really good to be able to go to the footy and watch SANFL teams, especially the ones that you support, come up. I hope they do it more often. more than just a once-off thing. And so Port Adelaide, as you can see there, won. They're standing in front of our new stadium. It was a really good game, definitely worth watching. I think you can watch the full game on 7+ if you're in Australia.